You didn't say. Sorry.
Her name is Mika.
Oh, Mika.
Yeah, my ex-wife, I grew up with dogs, but I always liked cats. And I'm just an animal person. I love having a character, a personality at home. So my ex-wife was a cat person. So we had cats. We had this cat together actually, and I kept her and she took the other one. Long story short. Anyways, she was French. So Mika being the rock Micah in French.
Oh, yeah.
We fostered cats, and then we had a geologic rock theme, right? So we had a cat, a tuxedo black and white cat that we named Marble. And we had a beautiful Russian blue rescue cat that we named Graphite. So you need a theme when you rescue animals because you have so many of them. So our rocks. I don't know. It just happened.
I love that. I like themes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've kind of been doing the B. A lot of animals starting with the letter B. So we had Bourbon before, now Bernie.
Oh, Bourbon.
I love Bourbon. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to
let's dive in.
Okay, let's jump in. The couple things I had a quick call with Abby yesterday. Abby, you could kind of like recap some of the stuff we were talking about. But really just want to dive in because we're learning a lot really quickly and we want us all to be on the same page. Do you want to just dive in on a few things before?
Yeah, so I mean, part of the reason that I wanted to connect with Alexis was that I've been doing a lot of like information gathering, right? And so talking with a lot of like VCs in the crypto space, men in the crypto space, because as I've said before, as I think I said last week or the week before, one of my concerns is I sent Alexis an article. I should have sent it to everyone. I sort of came across it and then lost it and then found it again, stating that like 0.01% of the wealth in crypto is, or 27% of the wealth in crypto is held by 0.01% of the people. And so everyone, you know, talks about with DAOs, with decentralization, with the blockchain, this redistribution and this opportunity here. At the same time, some of the data at the moment, and it's still, you know, a really early adopting thing, is still just recreating these inequalities. So wanting to make sure, and Michelle, with your experience releasing, you know, thinking about releasing your NFTs, that we're actually gaining traction and we're having maybe that 0.1% involved in creating change this way, in bidding on what we're creating, which means how do we do the marketing right? How do we come up with our right partnerships? And in order to approach the right partnerships, what is the utility of the NFT? What are we really offering people so that it's appealing for them to want to bid on it, right? And so that it's also appealing in a more broader sense, and it's not just an echo chamber of ourselves. Like, this might be a really funny comparison, but the thing that just came to me is that my undergrad is in English literature and creative writing. I was a writer. I worked for a literary journal. I attended all of the workshops, all of the Association of Writers and Writing programs, conferences, all of the academic bullshit. And 10 years ago, I left that because I was sick and tired of what I liked to call the masturbatory circle jerk of literature and publishing. So like all the bros creating literary journals only to publish their friends, right? So we need to make sure that we're breaking out of all of the usual cheerleaders for female founders for fundraising, because then we're just trading our own money back and forth and we're not actually growing and making a change in a much bigger way. And so in terms of like the marketing partnership, whether it's like UTU or a different platform, in terms of Discord channels, Alexis and I were talking about if there's like a hacker bro group that we can get someone that like loves what we're doing and they can talk about us in their Discord groups, right? And then either bring those people to ours or just be sharing the NFTs when they launch so that we can have those bids on it, identifying who those people are. But before we can even do that, really talking about what the NFT is going to be, and if there's a real world component to the NFT. So, for example, where I come at things is always fashion. So when you're talking about wearable fashion, Dolce & Gabbana did a thing, I think, that was like, you have to buy this limited edition NFT in order to get access to the physical product. And we're only making 12 of them, for example. Right. And so Alexis can share a little bit more about what you learned yesterday, talking to O, and like utility and real world aspects of why someone would want to own an NFT.
You covered so many good things there, and I'm glad we have a recording because you say it very well. And I just try to put some notes on the side, but just before we dive into like utility and the things that I learned from O, which is another founder that just launched a fashion NFT, a virtual NFT world. What do you guys think, just kind of off of Abby's, initial thoughts, kind of where we started yesterday? Yeah, Michelle.
I'm just unmuting. Hi, everybody. So many things. Well, first of all, the Alexis Ohanian from Bored Yacht Ape Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club. They, they amplified the Coven, the Crypto Coven.
Oh yeah.
Series that I shared with last week, and I think that really helped kick it off. Like when Crypto Coven's like final drop, by the time they got to their final weeks of drop, it was really being amplified by some major players. So also, I just was curious, whatever happened with UTU? Did we ever hear back from them?
We have not. Yeah, so that's definitely, some of that is the time of year, I'm sure. And also they're coming out with their beta. So I'm sure when we do hear from them, they'll probably be ready to go. But right now we haven't. We've reached out a couple times. I know Miriam reached out to team member there. So, it's still open.
The other thing that I wanted to note is, I've been doing mine on OpenSea, and it's been great so far. Gas fees are crazy. Like when we cash out, it's going to be crazy high gas fees. But for initializing the collection, it was only about $45. So that was good. And then my final thing.
For 45? Just curious.
You do it just once for the whole collection. They don't do it per.
So that was unlimited, just that group.
180.
Cool.
And for our founder trading card series, I put some marketing copy up in the cloud today. It was what I sent you before, Alexis, and I shared it with the whole group, all of us. And I have in there some copy that investors get a look at our pitch decks, with when they buy our founder trading card, they get a pitch meeting with us. I don't know if that's something to leverage, but hi, Decca. Nice to see you. Happy holidays. I'm going to put myself on mute now.
Hi. Sorry, I got on late. I was putting out some fires, but you look very warm. Where are you?
I'm in Pennsylvania, and there are like 10 other people here and lots of little kids. So I might mute if it gets crazy outside of this room. If people, it might get crazy.
So, Michelle, in terms of like a pitch meeting, that leads us back in a circle to the conversation about utility that Alexis had with O. So let's go that direction.
We'll go in there. Miriam, unless you have anything to interject before we go into it. If there is, just let me know. I'll stop.
Not at this time. Please go ahead.
Cool. Okay. So I had a conversation with O. She had launched her NFT and of course was very early on in wanting to do this. And I had connected her because she wanted to do this for charity. So she was also coming at it from a very wanting to do this for good approach, which is why I wanted to get her on the phone. And she said there were two main things that she really wished she had done differently. And one of them was, creating it's one thing and getting it out. But the first main thing is, who are you getting it out to? And again, it's having the community or having that marketing partner, which we are working on. But she reconfirmed that is number one. And then actually number two, because that's only marketing is only kind of the paid portion of the audience you can reach, but what's actually going to convert people to buy. So even if you have big partners, she said she had partners that she was connecting with on Discord. So really well-known, bros and all the different people in the NFT world to promote it. You've been saying the word, so it's like in my mind right now.
I feel
But
like I'm a bad influence.
she had that, but she said what was missing that she didn't even really think about is that physical, what is it tied to? Because people don't buy the NFT for the graphic, right? They don't buy it. They buy it for access. And so she said, if you think of it as this is a key that unlocks something that they normally wouldn't have access to, whether that's talking to people, getting to meet someone, now you're opening up the possibilities of what that could be. Why someone would want to buy that digital asset is not for the asset and not for the cause and not for following the people that they want to follow. What's actually going to get them to pull out their wallets or to create a wallet and buy one is going to be what access is this going to give them? And it needs to be something they can't get, but they want. And so that's really what utility, in her words, equates to, because utility, sometimes it's very abstract, but I love the way that she said that, is that you are buying access. And then we started thinking about what are things that people would want to access who would care about this. And she jumped in right away and had like a million ideas. She goes, oh my gosh, I would buy access to have a conversation with Alexis from Twitter, the investor from Shark Tank, or I would buy access to get to talk to Arlen Hamilton. These are the things that would probably get, a lot of interest from people who might be wanting to invest in startups, is getting to actually either, maybe it's 3 questions. You get 3 questions with them. And she said, but it can't just be for them. Since you want it for the community, think about how maybe this person gets to have this virtual 3-question meeting with them, right? And limit it to like a half an hour or something, or an hour, whatever of time. But she said, record it so then everybody can hear it and everybody can learn from it. And so there, you're also paying it forward. So it's exclusive access where you get this opportunity to have an experience, but it's also for everyone. And I thought that was interesting to think about, how do we be exclusive without being inclusive or paying it forward? So that was kind of her feedback. She started getting really excited. She thought, if we could get some very strong, like the CEO of Bumble, who just went on, ring the bell, and we could get some really high profile, like first set of founders, that would be like 10 amazing founders of all time, to create their trading cards and say, okay, when you buy this card, this money's not going to go to me. It's actually going to go to the next group, which would be us as founders. And so it's like each group is continually to pay it forward. So I wanted to just throw that out. It was huge learnings that she said she wished, because if it's not tied to anything, even with all the marketing and all the work, she goes, nobody's buying. And that's where NFTs fail.
Yeah. And if you think about like the utility of NFTs, that you think, oh, these are just graphics, actually the ones that are like making a lot of money are like gaming NFTs. So people are using them in some way.
That's
it's not
right.
Yeah. They're using them
true.
in the game, or they get bragging rights in the game, or they get access to whatever else in the game, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And the game is entrepreneurship in our case. And we could even use it in those gaming words, which keeps it fun and accessible, because now it doesn't feel like some impossible thing. But I think the big thing is up to us now. How do we leverage the people, the community we know? How do we find the right partners, whether it's celebrities? Now we're starting to think about, okay, marketing partners aren't just people in the NFT world. We've got NFT partners, then we have, which is hype, right? Those are the day traders. Those are the people that just flip it because they want to make quick money, and then, they kind of are just doing as day trading. Then you've got the people who actually want to support the cause, which are activists, but maybe the activists can donate their time to support this cause and this movement. So there's now we have to start thinking, and I'd love to brainstorm with you guys about utility. What is it that people can buy or do? And I'm going to share a website to Omaze, which is a group that in a way does something very similar that I'd love for everybody to look at. If you're not familiar with it, I'm going to pop it on the side. But what do you guys think on the utility side? I mean, just thinking about access, that's what we have to think about. That's what we're selling.
Yeah. So
I sorry.
no, we
No, I
wanted
like the idea. I like the idea about access without a doubt, kind of like a perk, right? So these are the perks for getting this NFT. Like we said, it's not just a photo or an image. So it's a perk that like you get access to this and access to that, help with entrepreneurship, access into the community of entrepreneurs, into the community of investors, and into and when you even talk about entrepreneurs and investors, you're talking about so many different things. Someone could be in this space, someone could be in that space. So there's a lot right there.
Decca, yeah.
Yeah. So I do like it because even, coming from sales, people would buy what's specific to them. So I do like the fact that they're getting something. The question will then be, what access are we gonna give them? What is attractive and not? Because if I say, buy my NFTs so you can talk to me, it doesn't mean anything.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I'm thinking, and we should make a list of, okay, what would people pay for? Start with that, because we can figure out a creative way. Maybe we match us with some perk, right? It doesn't have to be us for our own card, but maybe, yeah, like Miriam, you could actually be matched with somebody in the green space who everybody wants to talk to. So it could be somebody who wants to support specifically that founder based on their SDG goal or based on something that they want to support.
I kind of like this SDG goal thing. So like if each of us could identify like someone in our arena, I think that people would bid to have a conversation or access to, right? Like, I don't know if this would be possible. I have to throw it out there because it's one of my goals is getting a connection to Lil Nas X. That's what I'm trying to do, right? And so if I identify a person like that, and it's a Lil Nas X is supporting a queer female entrepreneur, and then is promoting this NFT, and someone gets a 15-minute meet and greet with him, and his contribution to this is his time, right?
Exactly. The idea, the pitch to them would be, you are donating your time, but it's 1 hour that now you don't have to have with a lot of different people, because that video or that asset, whatever's created from that hour experience, will be continuing to pay it forward and shared, and it saves them time too, but it's also the combination.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be, I mean, I like this idea that we all just spit out about aligning with our SDGs as a founder, but it doesn't have to be that, right? It could be something else. And
it
then
could be headline worthy. I mean, when you said that sounded like a headline.
Right.
I mean, that's an article for each of our companies in Forbes or wherever that's like, so-and-so's raising for this, so-and-so's raising for that, so that, we're also getting press for each of our companies, which would be really powerful. So maybe thinking like, what would that headline look like?
And then who that person is coming together with you as the founder, and then offering 15 to 30 minutes of your time as the utility behind the NFT.
On the SDG side, that opens up all kinds of doors, because right now there are people, all over the world gunning for that. Like, hey guys, we got to do something by 2030. We have to meet these goals. And I know the United Nations, many of them talk a lot, but at the same time, there are all these UN DP, UN diversity, UN women, UN blah, blah. and they if we could get some traction with them would be great, because they also want to promote themselves. And so if they see, oh, here are all these people who are focused on the SDG, then they take us under their wing in a sense,
Yeah, that's
and
a really
promote
good.
us. Yeah, because I see on Twitter, I'm connected to many of these UN SDGs, and they are constantly posting, oh, this company is doing this, that company did that, this one came up with this idea. And so they are also doing it, because they are the ones who came up with these goals, and now they have to achieve these 17 goals.
Yep.
That's a really good point. Like we could think of all of because really when it comes to the UN, you're right. There is a lot of talk, and there's a lot of academic kind of talk and political talk and stuff like that. But what they're missing is probably more celebrities, which we might be able to bring in on this, to get the headlines for them and to get more the public interested in this SDG goal, or even knowing what SDG is, because majority of the world still doesn't know that term. I still explain it and have to tell people. Not everybody, knows it. So bringing that awareness to not only the goal, but I think the celebrity knowing that they're bringing awareness to the goal, they're bringing awareness to this founder, which is entrepreneurship. Like the more levels we could have, I think we probably can really get some amazing people for each of us to connect.
So execution wise, if we identify what we want the levels to be, and then who would be a good partner, how, or like the top 3 people, and then how do we get to those people is the question.
Yeah.
That's always my question, is how do I get to these people?
And this is something that there's not a lot of degrees of separation to these people. I think once we figure out who it is, I really know we could get a connection to them. In terms of how quickly we can get connected to them. That's the other thing. We want to be able, so some of this might be having that top 3 list, but also knowing we're flexible based on availability, based on the fact that we don't want to wait for the card. We could come out with another card with one of the other top 3. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of throwing out, are you guys okay with if we create a list, we also kind of have a first come, first serve, like beggars can't be choosers, who we get. But I think, having a list for each of us, that's our target list. Or
yeah, and I think that when we identify those people, it's also going to come down to, if we're not offering any compensation or anything, like how we pitch them, what the pitch to them is.
Mm-hmm. And I think there is a potential then. So once we say, okay, these are the people that we want to talk to, this is who we want to attract, that's also where now we can leverage the marketing partners more. Because if they were going to invest budget into promoting this, it would make a lot more sense to have their support to put money into this so that they could get a bigger name person. So I think some of that might help us in terms of the budget there a little bit, or sponsorship. Oh yeah,
so as we think about this, we also got to think about who our target audience is. So if we're thinking about, like if we say, this big name, say a big VC who would partner with us, or celebrity who would partner with us, but who are we targeting to pay for the cards? Those people may not be interested in the people we're partnering with, so we got to think really long and hard about what. Yeah. And we could do it as a way, like you're saying, the SDG goals, and saying, making it a charity in one way, and saying, here's what we're trying to promote. Maybe even researching some big names and seeing exactly what cause they're really passionate about, and target them.
Yeah, and the other, I mean, that's a really good point, because it's not just like what are people interested in, but it's who is actually trading NFTs, right?
Yeah.
And part of it is what Alexis was saying about people who are allies and want to support, but they're not really involved in the NFT ecosystem. And I think that level of people would be bidding, because we're kind of bringing them ourselves. That level of people would be bidding no matter what. It's more like the big numbers and making sure that we're entering into this, 0.101% of people that might be interested.
So what would our goal be on that level in terms of getting more people into the NFT opportunities, the space that aren't there? Would that kind of be our mission in terms of the audience we want to bring in? Because I think we definitely will be able to identify persona for who we're selling to in the NFT space and how they buy. But what would the persona be of the new people we want to attract? Is it Gen Z? Is it, maybe it's college students who are all in innovation labs? That's something that we have connections to now with universities. Is it a younger group?
I mean, it depends, because those kids don't have money. I mean, maybe they do if they're already in crypto.
But they would already be in it. Yeah.
Right. Who was it that we were talking about yesterday, Alexis, that was a standout woman in crypto? Who were we just talking about? I can't remember.
I'm blanking. Yeah.
I saw
there was
Jamie
that
Schmidt.
lady at the entrepreneur thing.
Oh yeah.
That NASDAQ entrepreneur event that we attended. She was a speaker, remember?
And I reached out to Wendy about her.
Yeah,
As NASDAQ speaker. Yeah, she's definitely.
When we were talking about Reese Witherspoon as well, I think. Michelle.
Hi, yes, definitely Reese. But also I saw that Jamie Schmidt and Britt Morin are doing an NFT project, as is Rebecca Bastian from, Own Trail. Well, you know that. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. And are they, in terms of like the demographic, so we're seeing natural movement happening. So I guess it's who we're selling to, right? Bringing it back to that basic, who's going to buy it, right? Because that's the whole point of us doing this, is it's not altruistic for a movement. We're all doing this to raise money for our companies.
I've been like every single female VC and investor I've been, sending our link to for the NFT founder cards. It's people like, I'm having a brain freeze. Sarah Gao from Greylock and Gail Wilkinson and sorry, let me look up the other person's name.
So is it kind of like the VCs we want to get our attention, or the VCs we want to ideally invest in us in this round or the next round? Is that like some of our target list of who we want to buy the NFT?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you're.
That's why it would unlock like special access to our pitch deck or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's less interesting to me, because I don't want my pitch deck to be exclusive. I'm trying to take as many meetings as possible. It's not really a perk. Like, you don't have to pay me money to see my pitch deck.
Got it.
And also we want more people to see it, right? So our pitch deck, like,
right,
sometimes we're clamoring for people to see it. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. And this is just Spitfire getting ideas out, so that we can kind of narrow in, because we don't want to go after everybody. We want to have a really specific persona, very clear about who that is. Is it, so in terms of the paying it forward, do we want to help somebody, like who do we want to help? Who would help us back? To me, it's always more than a check. I want to know, okay, this person would not only buy it, but they might open a door for me back. That's kind of how I always try to think of it, because.
So I think that when you're talking about trading NFTs, though, that's getting too optimistic.
Yeah.
Especially if we're trying to make a splash with this, in terms of like, the person that we're each thinking about partnering with for utility, for the prize, for the, what you get, experience. I think that their contribution is their time. And then again, it comes back to how we're constructing the DAO is all the bids and all the money that's coming in, and then how that's being distributed. Because if you're talking about, paying it forward, I think, frankly, like if the first round is successful, let's say it's our 5 cards, and we have really amazing partners that have donated their time to support us as female founders and provide the reward for the winner, and then the DAO gets distributed. The pay it forward is we've established this as a fundraising or as a new community-based vehicle, and so the next round gets us that much more access to these amazing names to partner with the founders for the next round to raise money for the next set of cards.
And I like that being the pay it forward. We separate, because this is always a dilemma, is like, we'd love the world to be the better place we want to create it to be, but we're dealing with the reality of where the world is and where we are now. So I like the idea of keeping where we are now with the NFTs really practical, really clear on the utility, really clear on just getting people to pull out their checkbooks. And that may not be from the altruistic.
I love that you just said pull out their checkbooks, and we're talking about crypto and NFT.
No.
Julia Lipton is the other
That's so
VC
true.
who's really well known in the NFT space. Julia Lipton.
Oh, okay. And write these down, because I think these are all.
I'll start making a list too.
Them.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that we have to separate the cause and the movement and how we're going to fix it in the future to the DAO portion. The NFT, in terms of like just mentally for me, it's like, okay, the DAO is how we're paying it forward, how we're going to create equity, split it.
Exactly.
And then the NFT, it's like the raffle ticket at a charity event. Like it's what they're buying and what they might win.
Are we going to talk about the DAO today, by the way? We've got like 20 minutes left.
Yes, we're going to dive into the DAO next. This was such an important thing for us to decide. So, yeah. Are you guys good with where we're at and kind of like brainstorming? I think Miriam and Michelle, we were already talking about who activists might be in our area anyways, but I think we're good with where we are right now. Let me grab.
I'll start making lists.
And just share it with everybody so we're on the same page. Okay, so the DAO details. I've been hoping that David would be feeling better. We think David has caught the virus.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we went to like the epicenter for our family, pretty much OKC, which is Oklahoma City.
I forgot you flew to Oklahoma.
It's having like, I'm not going to be able to see my mom for Christmas now. We have to wait a week. Like we just are dealing with all this in the last 24 hours.
But he's vaccinated, no?
He is vaccinated. Both vaccines. We didn't get the booster before we traveled, though.
Yeah, but both vaccines.
We had Moderna. That was the one that we used.
I think that a friend and I were talking about how the Spanish flu petered out in the research. And what happened was a less lethal but more contagious variant went around because it can't keep killing people because then you run out of host, right? So Omicron being much less lethal, but
fast
and break, right? So I actually tested positive yesterday, but I'm not sick.
You're not,
right?
But I'm not. I supposedly, right? We're asymptomatic.
Yeah, but it's more transmissible, right? But vaccines work because it could be worse symptom-wise, right? And so, but Oklahoma, I don't know what the vaccination rate is, but it's not good. So,
well, let's just say when we were like going anywhere, nobody had masks. The fact that I was wearing a wet mask actually got comments.
Yeah. They're like, you don't have to do that here. You're
Yeah.
like,
And
I
then,
want to
oh,
do
you're
it.
from California. Oh, that's because it's so bad over there. I'm like, no, we're actually doing really well in California. Like, it's just the media. They just talk all about Christmas and group gatherings and events and what they could be doing. Nobody's talking about COVID. Nobody's talking about precautions. We were ready to come home.
Anyways, back to
Wow.
Dallas.
So because of
I'm
that,
glad you guys are okay.
I'm
too.
asymptomatic. I've been fine. David's been like,
He tested positive.
and he has asthma, so it really affects his respiratory quite a lot. So last night he
Okay.
got like 1 hour of sleep.
Wishing
And
him well.
he really wanted to ask if it's okay that he talked to us on Monday.
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
"Monday
No,
I'll be
later.
better."
No hurry.
I felt horrible, but I knew we had to talk anyways today to keep this rolling. But he is, I mean, I'm telling you,
No hurry. No hurry. That's okay.
Yeah.
yeah. He's actually had 3 hours of sleep in the last 2 days, which is
That's
not
fine.
enough for a human being. And so his brain's just too garbled to like.
Yeah. I mean, so the question, I guess,
So
is,
maybe you, Abby, you talk about DAO since you know so much
Yeah, we
about it.
can get started, or maybe even put together, what our main questions are.
yeah, I think if we could brainstorm some main questions, that would be great. And also, if he wanted to talk, either if we were going to connect on our normal time next Thursday, or if you said Monday, if we needed to schedule.
He said he feels by Monday, but then again, I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah, okay, let's play it by ear.
I think he was thinking Monday because Michelle, Miriam, and I have a meeting on Monday, and so he knew that was like our next meeting time. Right. But whatever works for you guys.
I could do Monday at 2:00 my time, 11 a.m. your time. It's this time, but next Thursday also works totally fine for me.
What is Monday? Okay.
It's 11 a.m. our East Coast time, or West Coast Pacific time work. That's right after our meeting, which works for me.
That works for me.
Okay. Oh, that would be great. Main questions Monday. And we can definitely brainstorm our main questions ahead of time. That way, when he hops on, it's just,
Yeah, so I think that, like, I know that
Monday is a holiday, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, because after Christmas, right? The Monday after Christmas, isn't it?
Maybe in Canada.
Saturday.
Any day that's for you guys. It's whenever,
don't we have a holiday here? Don't we have a
No.
holiday the Monday after Christmas? No.
It's in Canada.
Only
is that a Canadian
No, I don't know about Canada.
Or you're maybe thinking of Boxing Day in
No,
England.
I don't know anything about Canada. No, I was just thinking that like Christmas, and then sometimes, like for example, for Thanksgiving or Labor Day weekend, we always get the next Monday, right?
No.
But for Christmas, we don't. Okay, fine. Because Christmas is on a Saturday. That's why.
Yeah. Well, people are taking Friday the 24th off.
I think a lot of people are doing.
Oh.
Yeah. New Year's Eve.
Okay, so Monday is a working day.
I'll send it out. That way we all have it for that. David will be on there.
Yeah, when? On Monday.
So main questions for the DAO that you guys are having right now that we can start to make a list in the next 5-10 minutes would be great.
So I know that Michelle has a Ethereum wallet set up. I don't know if any of us do. I don't. If Michelle, if you have a link, or if he has a link of setting up a wallet, and then sort of like, if we are, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be using Ethereum.
That's the NFT coin.
Right. And then what the smart contract needs to include, or what we need to know about smart contracts. And then how do we, I think that each DAO creates its own token.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The DAO has its own token. So maybe just the whole flow. of exactly how that.
Yeah. And then somebody in the summit was asking about one of the lawyers from the fourth floor was asking about like smart contracts and
I like the way you answered her, by the way.
I don't even
That's what
remember.
you were like. No, you're really funny. You're like, well, that's what a smart contract does. Like, it's really funny.
Why they're created. Yeah. But if there's, I mean, and David might not know, but if there's anything like real world we need to know about these contracts. And then I guess, yeah, I mean, my most important questions are around the smart contracts, especially as they relate to who, for us, I think specifically, who can own the tokens, who can be part of the DAO, and how proceeds are distributed is something that I think needs to be outlined in that contract. And then I guess for me, if there's anything else that David thinks of off the top of his head, that we should know or be thinking of, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna let David like totally lead that part. Yeah.
In this video, we're going to explain what a blockchain.
Sorry. We were talking about Alexis.
We just were saying it's like when you have a tab open and then the movie or the video starts. Because my volume was down in the beginning. I had to turn it up because of that problem.
Yeah.
Well, this is gonna give David just kind of an understanding, I think, mentally of where we are and like where he needs to start from. You know, because it's very easy knowing as much as he does to maybe start too far ahead. So I think this is really good.
So, question.
Yeah. Oh, Dicka.
So, for the DAO, there will be a governing board, right? Then the collective makes a decision. Is that right?
I think that's something we want to clarify with David because my understanding is the DAO, since it's decentralized and it's ruling itself, that votes are put out. And then based on what the group votes, like everybody who's in the DAO, that's how you come to a consensus of what's going to be done as a DAO.
Right. And I guess the question is, because of that, is there a percentage participation threshold that is set out in a smart contract or that is standard?
Yeah, based on the activity and contribution.
Right, exactly.
Which is the governing board we were talking about last time, right, Decca? That's kind of what you were meant with the governing board.
Yeah.
Because I think it is important. There has to be a group similar to us that each time a round of cards comes out is going to be, okay, who are these partners who are,
Exactly.
So in a way, it's like, how are they earning additional voting credits by the activities that they're doing?
Yeah, and how is this group chosen? Like, is there specific process or guidelines that we'll have to follow?
And these are all the question marks that we need to fill in.
Have you all, besides Michelle, have you all filled up your NFT info? I did everything except for the video, the thank you video, because I have to dress up and, you know, put that together.
Yeah.
Put some green lipstick on for green.
Yeah.
I have about 4 pitches I need to record that I haven't done because I haven't been in a place to like be on video. Michelle, talk to us.
Yes. So I just sent everybody a sign up list for Coinbase. And I just sent you a link where you could sign up for a Coinbase wallet. And there's a Coinbase app. It's a desktop, but then there's a mobile app, but then there's also a Coinbase wallet tool. So you'll need both. But to sign up for Coinbase, it's fairly straightforward as far as you'll see all the information you need to provide, but then you'll need to connect your bank account and they deposit two small amounts in your bank account, but it's all free and it's all really straightforward. It just takes a day or two. So I don't know if you, a lot of people use, what is the other one, like MetaMask or something? It's another wallet.
MetaMask and crypto.com is another one. So there's a few of them. It doesn't, since they're free to set up, it doesn't really hurt to set them up.
It's so interesting though, because I've been trying to I've gotten some free. The fees are just so high. Like when you cash out your Ethereum, you have to pay gas fees to cash out. And it's like $7 on whatever the amount is or more. I don't know. So it's pretty interesting. They're charging a lot of fees. I don't know how to get around it, but we'll figure it out.
The question for David is what fees can we expect when? Because I think, knowing ahead of time, okay, there's going to be a fee is important.
Yeah, and I guess the other question is, why did you choose Coinbase? Because of the fees or what wallet? Because there's so many different options, right?
Yes, I already had it downloaded and I already had accumulated money in there before this project. And it's interesting, the money that you keep in your wallet obviously fluctuates up and down based on the market of the coin, like the market rate of the coin. So it fluctuates with the market up and down during the day. So if it plunges, we have to be aware. They're all okay right now, right? High-ish.
And that's a good point. Something we could talk to David about, like stable coins where it can hold the value at where it is until you decide. So I think there is some things there we need to be really strategic about. So you're right. We don't have a sudden, a third of what we had just disappeared or something like that. Yeah.
And I did launch my NFT surfing collection, first 30 of them. And it's all such an experiment. I do have a little, it's a bonus caption and text, but they can sign up and be the first for the novel. But I wonder what else to offer. It's kind of over the next 6 weeks, I'm just going to play around with it. No one's bought anything yet, but it's okay. I accidentally did a typo when I listed my first one. So they look like they're really expensive. But apparently you can reduce the price if they don't sell. But the first one, I'm kind of glad that I listed it at the amount that I did. So, yeah. It was a typo, but I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go with it because some of the Bored Ape Yacht Club ones are going for 10 times as much. So you never know. I'm really optimistic.
I'm glad that you're trying it. And I think all these questions we're asking, definitely for David, but also just anybody we're talking to over the holiday who has been working in a wallet, or it's good to get their logic behind it, not so much I think it's understanding why they went that way, or because those are all things that we need to be thinking about that maybe they already thought about. So yeah, and I'm going to add in, let me put this in here to the side too. So next Monday we're going to do 11 o'clock West Coast time, Pacific time. And then I'm also going to put in the side. So you said you sent us a Coinbase link
to sign up. Yes.
Yep. And then there's crypto.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
I sent it to your Says account.
Oh, okay. And then
on email, I haven't received any email.
Maybe it went to spam.
Maybe it takes a while.
Yeah, check your spam.
No. Coinbase. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the NFT stuff gets flagged as spam.
Yeah, my provider flags things when there are 3 or more links. If there are lots of URLs, then it gets okay, this looks like spam.
Well, I just put in 3 links. So, oops, let me put this one here so it actually on the side so you guys can all explore wallet, set it up for free. Before Monday would be great because then maybe that'll give you additional questions that we could go over. Just write down the questions so that we don't lose them. Because I think all these questions that we're thinking on the list is really important because we want to share this with founders. Like, here's all the questions we asked. Here's like kind of what our logic was. Because that's really important to the paying forward part of what we're doing is just sharing this knowledge as we go along. Cool. So we'll do Monday, 11 a.m. all David. And then
based on if he feels better.
Yeah.
We go with the flow first.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and if not, we can definitely do Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have that residual effect of the virus of, you being ill. So
I appreciate you guys being flexible with that. And yeah, definitely go get the booster if you haven't already.
I know we need to.
Thursday, I have a lunch with relatives, and so I have to drive there. It's maybe half-hour drive. So Thursday, maybe from noon or so, I am busy.
Okay. We will try to do Monday for next week. If, of course, everything doesn't, then we'll figure out and reconfirm a time for Thursday. Because I think once a week is more than enough. We're also busy. But I'm really excited, in terms of the questions we have now and filling in the blanks and just like talking this out today. Is there anything else that you guys want to say before we head out or right at the end of the hour?
Happy holidays.
I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Have fun with
I hope you eat a lot of food.
family.
That's what holidays is for. All the food. Good food.
Okay, I want to send this to everybody for something to check out because it made me laugh.
I love your founder story, by the way, Alexis, your holiday founder story, and the fact that you recorded it. It's just fantastic. I'll be sharing it.
Oh, thanks. Miriam, I appreciate your feedback because you're right. I pulled out a couple lines and then I shortened it up so it was just like a very childlike rhyme, and it was
No, it's okay.
It was very fun to do.
I haven't heard the recording though.
Oh, I'll share the
on
recording
Instagram,
with you guys. And this is the link that I wanted you guys to see. I saw it in the news yesterday and it made me laugh out loud. So I hope it brings you a little laughter.
He's an amazing self-promoter. Martha Stewart, that link.
Oh.
She also went to my alma mater, just to throw that out there. Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool.
She made this nativity set while she was in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
She says at camp.
Yeah, that's even funnier. Yeah.
I'm just like, I love the fact that she's like best friends with Snoop Dogg.
She's 80 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's 80?
She looks amazing.
Time flies.
Yeah.
She's so funny. Well, it made me laugh when I heard it, and even her prison numbers on the bottom of the nativity set to make it authenticated. It's hilarious.
And on that note, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
I'm already
Talk to you
wearing
guys
green.
next week.
Yeah, I'm wearing green.
Oh, I love it. And you're red. Good to see everyone.
Okay, so Alexis, are we speaking or are we logging off or what?
I was going to say, can I send you a link right now?
Another link? Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.